Hi.
So, what do you think, Carla? Should we try and do a little bit Chinese?
Of course.
Yeah?
当然。
So basically, I think we'll just start, very, very casually, and maybe we could try and talk about some of the things that we spoke about over WeChat. Yeah? So, firstly, I'm wondering, can you tell me a little bit about your background and what inspired you to take up your interests and to not follow such a normal life, but have a look into uh, these kind of things.
Okay. Uh, it, it's a long story, but I just try to make a little bit shorter. And I was born in the artist families and follow to do the art work when I was younger. But I have many special experience when I was a childhood, and so be able to really reach some things or some phenomena what the normally people doesn't believe. Yeah, so I think that's the part of the reason really opened up my mind, my eyesight, and I really believe there are always other lives existing in this whole entire universe. So I've been really earlier to come to this area to start to research and about these UFOs and the alien stuff. But of course, in another hands, and also to really explore the inner work from the religion and also from spirituality developing. I think that's around 14 years ago or maybe 13 years ago, and there's some things happening in my life and really awake me, and I start to get in more deeper of the states what I just talked about, and was what I was interested when I was a childhood. So I start to explore the science and technologies and or maybe alien technologies, and also about human consciousness developing. So that's why, and so many years works and bring me to now. And yeah, that's basically
Nice.
yeah, as my background.
And I was just thinking perhaps we could address some of our viewers because today, as you know, we have many, many different kind of viewers viewing for many different reasons. You know, some people are like they just believe this for some reason. Some people, they are experiences. They have experienced something and they are watching it for this reason. And you know, some people, they feel bored with their daily life and they want to find something more interesting. So watching it for entertainment purposes. The good ETs versus the bad ETs.
Oh,
So in regards to, good ETs versus bad ETs, what is your opinion on this?
okay. If talk about this topic, I want to put some kind of opinion. And at the first, as what we know, we are living the third dimension, and everyone's look at things that would be duality, and because we are living different individual, and so of course we were just put everything in the bad or good or right or wrong, so all black and white, but which is okay because that's how we really learn in this universe from this dimension. But of course, I want to tell in the really when humans develop into a different dimension consciousness, we may not use the same way to look at this anymore. Yeah, so we may not think as something good or something bad, but of course, and we will back to this dimension and use our opinion
Yeah.
to really um, analyze about the phenomena. We can say yes, they are the ETs with more positive
Intentions.
and intentions or maybe negative intention. So, which is we say is good aliens or maybe bad aliens.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And what kind of experiences have you personally had? Maybe you could tell me about your experiences you had while you were a child.
Yeah.
And maybe something recent that you've experienced.
Oh, that's quite a personal, individual question.
Oh,
Yeah, but of course I can share some.
Mm.
And I have many experience when I was young, which is I never can get explaining
Oh.
by the society and by people around, especially adults. For examples, I probably see the people who passed away. Yeah, and they were shows out in front of me, and I can see them. And also, for some reason, when I was very young, I always arrived to the sky and for some stars and to telling my parents, "Hi, you know what? I'm not come from this planet. I come from there." So, and also, I've been carrying the memories when I was born.
Mm.
Yeah.
So like past life memories.
Past even this life, when I was born as a newborn baby, but I have memories. I memorize how my mom delivered me, and I also memorize the rooms in the hospital, which is my mom, to use it, and remember the door, directions, where's the window beside, and another bed, another patient there, or pregnant woman. Especially very strong memories is when I lying on the bed with my mom after I was born. There's a window beside of the head of the bed. I see a really bright moon. It's almost like a full moon there in the really clean sky. There's no other stars I can see except the moon. Very bright and very round shape. It's like a full moon. So, and also in that time, I got memories that I really link with these energies from the moon. Seems like I jumping from the moon into the earth, like a portal. Yeah, it's like that kind of a memories. But of course, and when I start to tell the adults around, when I was be able to describe that, they really figure out the people around. So, yeah, it's a lot of different experience, and it's happening like that. And you can say in my whole entire life. But of course, it's more happening when I was childhood. Yeah.
Wow. And I remember, like, for example, when I was in New Zealand, I was associating a lot with the CE5 community there.
Yes.
And we were going outside and we were doing some CE5s. And we saw some, spacecraft at a very long distance.
Yeah.
But they would never come that close.
Yeah.
It was always at a very far distance.
Yeah.
And have you ever seen any like crafts?
Oh yeah.
Yeah?
I've been see many times. Yeah, many times, and in different countries and different places, and especially the nearly years I've been seeing a couple of times is around the area where I live in Shenzhen, which is this Nanzan district, in just on in the sky up to the ocean.
Yeah.
It's very interesting, and also as what you say, normally we see the crafts, it's quite far, it's like stars and moving very weird track.
Yeah.
Yeah, but last year and being really able to see some things on the sky which is not that far away, which is more close with us. And I think if the people really pay attention to this area, pay attention about the information, probably all hear about people talk about that kind of a craft with a triangle. Yeah, triangle shape. So, yeah, I read a lot of information about that triangle, black one. But I always think it's quite far from me or from China. But actually, last year I see the one. It's really just above my head.
Really?
And when I look at it, just a size like my hand size, this big, black with the light in this three corner. Yeah.
And was your feeling? I'm sorry to cut. Was your feeling as though it was of extraterrestrial origin, or as though it was man-made?
Oh, I think it's kind of mixed feelings. I mean, I know a lot of information research in this area for many years, and I know there are some craft that probably, and it came from SSP, which is a secret space program, and also about the breakdown civilization.
Yeah.
Yeah, they've been create to build it up a lot of this kind of craft. But still, and when you link with this information, you just basically hear some things. But when you really face to it and look
Yeah.
at it by your own eyes, still a little bit shocked actually.
Yeah.
And those crafts is really, really no sound and very quiet. It's anti-gravity and just very hiddenly and across the sky without any notice. You know why? And that's 2 or 3 o'clock in the morning. What I'm doing, I'm just outside to see the moon. And because that night is 月食, I don't know how called that because moon disappear by the shadows of the.
Oh yes.
月
The
食.
full moon.
It's not
No.
full moon. Yeah, it's
Is
full
it a
moon, but
festival?
it's like our shadow of the earth to stop the sunshine to the moon, so it becomes disappear.
Oh, an eclipse.
Eclipse, yeah,
of course.
thank you. So it's an eclipse. So that's why I was not go to bed to sleep. I'm still standing on top of my apartment, which is terrace, to look
Yeah.
at the sky and to shoot the moon with my camera of my mobile. But then suddenly I see this black shadow, triangle shape with a sudden light on it, and just across the sky without any notice, without any sound. And then I went to the like a 45 degrees to the sky into a western direction, and suddenly turn around to another shape, very thin, and pew, disappear. So I got a little bit excitement in that time. Okay, that's something weird, but also I try to be cool.
Yeah.
Even I know them, but never seen them with my eye before.
Yeah.
So I said, okay, now it's really the time when I see it. It's better I keep cool, but still a little bit exciting. Yeah. So that's I think that's last September.
Last September.
Yeah, last September. And also later on, I've been able to hear from my mom once because that's June. I was in U.S. to join this contact in that desert. And so my mom, she's rather sick in that time, and my relatives were push her, my sister were push her to the ocean side, which is where I live, to go to work after dinner. And my mom see the wheelchair to look at the sky above the ocean, see exactly the same things what I've been saw it last September. We set the 3 black triangle and landing on the sky with a 1 lane, but rather far each other.
Is this around Shenzhen area or?
No, just around the Shenzhen, around where I live, SeaWorld area.
SeaWorld.
Yeah, I also have been seeing this that aircraft. There's the same area. So, but my mom sees 3 months earlier, and the 3 of it just stay in the sky without any move. 3 triangle black craft, flying craft, landing in the sky, no moving. So, seems like something happening here, and I got more and more these happenings to show some secret into the surface. Yeah.
Do you feel, I mean, it seems as though every time something like this happens, like there's some triangles in the sky or a craft here, craft there, it's never that obvious. It's usually far enough away so that if someone from the news caught it, someone else could be like, oh, but it was just that, or it was just this, right? It's never so close that everyone can say, yes, that's a UFO, right?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. But of course, this is also depends, and because even they are flying up there every moment, but that's not means all the people will look up to the sky will really see them. So,
I mean, they have the ability, or some of them have the ability to cloak their craft, right? So that they can somehow bend the light around, so to essentially make them invisible, yeah?
Oh, And you mean the ships or crabs?
Yeah, the
to make
craft.
their...
I mean, I hear that some have the
Oh,
technological
yes.
ability to bend the light around so that our eyes cannot see.
Oh, of course,
Craft.
of course,
Yeah.
of course. I think they don't want to just shows out like that to
Yeah.
really scare the people.
Uh-huh.
And yeah, that's what
Yeah.
I believe. They have a good purpose behind. And but they're
Now let me hold that for you.
yeah, but
You
they're
try.
for some reason,
Yeah.
and they still need to walk around this area.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, and to take up a lot of stuff.
Mm-hmm.
So they don't want people get shocked, and they have some technologies can hide in them.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's like even hiding in the clouds or create clouds around.
Mm.
Yeah.
But it seems like it's slowly, day by day, they're making themselves a little bit more obvious.
Yeah.
Day by day, yeah?
Yeah,
bit
of
by
course.
bit, to slowly awaken people.
They use a lot of ways to really deliver their information to the people.
Yeah.
No matter shows out of themselves or maybe also to connect with a lot of people and to deliver this information out to the public, and that people more and more has the concept in their mind, and they are really existing.
Yeah.
And when the people really has these images in their mind, and they be more able to create this reality out, and also to support or to help those a good ET, you can say, to be more easier to manifest into everyone's eyes.
Yeah. I guess with regards to making it go more smooth, right? Because what we need is essentially a transition.
Yeah.
A transition from the old kind of world, I guess, to a new post-disclosure world where everyone can find out about this kind of stuff. And I guess what do you think are some of the ways that we can make this process happen more smoothly?
Because at least my personal opinion is like, of course we need all different ways to help people awaken and to see the things what normally couldn't see, to really understand may not the world what we live is exactly the true. So, but as personally, I still believe use the more smooth way to that people more friendly and more peacefully to understand them more and more, be awakened. That will create more harmony, energies, and will be more easier to help whole our planet or our human beings to transform into the better and or maybe better future and higher dimension.
Let's get to the next stage. I guess one of the main things I would like to talk to you about is, I know your experience with John Searle, is this advanced technology of human origin, particularly the Searle technology. And I know, of course, it's maybe a bit personal thing for you, and maybe some things may be hard to talk about. But I was wondering if you would feel comfortable to share maybe some of your experience regarding the Searle technology.
Oh, of course.
And your experience with.
That's a very special experience in my life as well. So actually, I was able to really contact with John Searle's team is 2012. You can say the end of 2012. But before that, actually, one would take 1.5 years. So seems like a magnet to create its own fields. And so nothing dealing with those planets. So of course they can fly in everywhere. And so basically that guy has shown me this. You know what? And actually it's also when I wake up from these dreams, I feel very strange. Is that I've been whole life to work for the art work. I'm not really good in the science or technology or mathematics when I was young, especially in the school. So, but how I be able to really understand those kind of concepts and formulas and also technologies when I was in the dream. But of course, in that time, I only have one memorized, to show that I have self consciousness. That means, okay, Carla, don't forget what this person to tell me, because I need to bring this information back to the earth. That's the only sentence I believe in my head.
That you need to bring the technology back to the Earth.
Yeah, but I more is like I understand this concept. Then I wake up from this dream. Then I start to think, okay, doesn't make any sense. The first, I didn't fall down from that small UFO. The secondly, it's very weird. I don't understand any technologies. How I be able to understand exactly what this person told me.
Right.
Yeah. So I carry a couple of questions, and then live in this dream and get ignored.
So it sounds very much like this dream was describing this Searle technology to you, yeah?
Yeah, but you know how I find out later? Is another miracle things. And 8 months later, and I do the meditation every night and in front of my computer. And I've been watching some videos to guide you how to do the chakra meditations, to do the energies and all whatever in the growing, you know. But one night, of course, that's a very special time or moment for my life. But maybe I got the chance to share this part next time.
Sure.
But the more is this time I want to say, I sitting in front of my computer, do the meditation. I didn't touch the table, didn't touch my computer or mouse. But when I go for the half of my meditation with that video, suddenly stop. Another video just automatically jumping out into my screen without any touching.
Wow.
And so, of course, I close my eye. I say, oh, wow, it's a stop. I didn't stop. It's just go for my throat chakra. Then I open my eye, see another screen, small screen shows out in my big screen of computer. It's a video. Then I start to check. Actually, it's a Chinese, like a Chinese YouTube. We call Tudou. Yeah. So the video talk about the father of UFO and the free energy inventor, Zhong Shou, or something like that.
Wow.
They translated to Chinese.
Yeah.
So this one shows out to me. Then I got very strange. Feel very strange. I said, okay, what is these videos about? So because curious, because it's jumping out by itself. So that's why I collected, started watching it.
Yeah.
Actually, that's the video, almost 2.5 hours.
Wow.
It's documentary movie about Zhong Shou's whole life, and also about his story, about the technology, everything. But I started watching it. I don't know why, and when I watch more and more, my heart is pumping, harder and harder. But in my mind still feel confused what's going on.
Right.
Until the halfway, when they show Zhong Shou the first generator examining, a table size generator, because the data is not stable, and it go beyond minus 274 degree to create 0 points and produce a superconductor. So these generators is like UFOs, it flows up, boom, flies away. So of course, the first they do this experiment inside of the house where he lived. So to create big bombs of the roof.
Yeah.
So his stepmother and is not really happy. Said, "Hey, John, if you want to do this experiment, please go outside of the door, not inside of the door. You destroy the house." So then later he be able to do outer door. Still, couple of them flies away as UFO, just table size.
Yeah.
So when I look at this, it start to memorize me. Oh my God, this is something that I've been go for. Then later when it really shows those increments, 3 rings with those rows rolling even the directions to create free energies, you know. Then finally I start to remember that the dreams about 8 months ago.
Right.
So the technology, also technologies from this documentary movie shows out to me exactly the same as what I get that information from aliens in my dream.
Right.
Yeah.
Wow.
So these 2 things happening to really reminding me some things. I start to think if any one of the things, only one happen, I may not will take seriously. But because 2 things are happening and like synchronize each other. So then I start to get connections like there's some things probably linked with what I need to do in the future. Yeah, really remind me and about also my soul missions. And so then after that, I start to research a little bit about science and also about the technology, about our planet Earth situation, about the whole environment, all these problems of the energy problems. And then I start to write a letter to Jung, to Jung's team, and start to link with them.
So at this time, there was already some following of John Searle in China. They had already translated a lot of his material to Chinese at that time. So this was like 1990 or something like that.
They just knowing this story because this documentary movie being created quite a long time ago.
But at that time, they hadn't really developed anything in China.
I think maybe deep state of China, and they have certain information, and they were, use this John Searle's concept, try to build it up this generator. Yeah, as what I know, after I link with John Searle's team, I be able to meet a lot of these deeper government peoples.
Right.
Yeah, they also share some information with me. But as so far, they still not be able to deliver everything out because I think they don't really know the core formula. Yeah,
they don't know the core formula. Yeah. Well, I mean, that's interesting because, I mean, the components of the technology, I mean, the materials, the magnets, the nylon, the copper, they seems like pretty basic components, and yet John, it seems that the most important ingredient here is the mathematics of it, right? And the geometry.
Yes.
I mean, John was able to make this work such a long time ago with very basic materials.
Yes.
But now, I mean, a lot of people, even though they're quite advanced, still somehow they can't make it work, or they can make it work.
I think it's not only about the material or about the mathematics formula. It's also about their philosophy, their concept. Right. How much they understand about this universe.
Of course.
Yeah. And also how much they really understand these electrons.
Of course.
Yeah.
It very much lines up with something that I've been following as well. I mean, I've been reading a book by Ken L. Wheeler, who talks a lot about how the sciences today, the science and the mathematics today is quite deteriorated in a way from what it used to be. I mean, because now we are very materialized, right?
Yes.
We are very materialistic.
Yes.
And we try to understand each component like, this is an atom, this is an electron, this is that. But they don't seem to understand how this all, merges together as a whole kind of living universe. Whereas the old science, if you go right back to like Nikola Tesla and Michael Faraday and James Clerk Maxwell, these people were not following this kind of principle. They had solid roots in very naturalistic science.
Yes.
They followed a very deep philosophy. For example, I'm not sure if you've heard of the Roger Boscovich, the theory of natural philosophy.
Yeah.
This was one of Nikola Tesla's books where he kind of learned a lot of his philosophy from to create his inventions, was the theory of natural philosophy, and a lot of the philosophy going back to the ancient Greeks and the ancient Italians. So I think, do you think that this is one of the keys, that the science today is maybe too materialized and does not have a foundation in the natural philosophy?
Oh, of course. I think I'm totally agree what you say. Even talk about the medical. Look, so like Western medicals developing, we see a lot of different, you can say, knowledge. About your health or your functionals of your bodies and your biologies. But the problem is we cannot separate. This is the life. The life is a whole ecosystem. It's a hopefully one part. We couldn't separate all different one part into different parts. Then we were lost the whole holographically generations, generals vision to look at it. You see that the Eastern medicals, they probably more like to see your health, your whole different parts, get everything's into one part.
Into one organic system.
Yeah, one organic system. So when you really work on this organic system, make all the energies working really balancedly, basically your disease is gone. Yeah, or be healed. So I think this is how it is. And when we so much materialize and too much pay attention to one part of whole this entire part, so we were missing the information from other parts. And so we're making our visions is very, very sidely and not into the central.
Of course. How about some of these, I mean, you mentioned briefly that there possibly are some kind of deep, maybe government layers, perhaps in China, working with this technology, trying to make it work. Do you think they understand these more organic sciences, or do you think they are working with the material science to try and make it work?
I think probably they are a different group of people in China. So some part of some people's and were working only for their physical science, as like academies, but there's some people's maybe hidden in the mountain to use totally another philosophy to try to calculate.
Yes.
But I think we never like the people's who's talent from different way. But the problem is how to put all this talent together as one ecosystem. Yeah. So.
I guess there must be some organizations. I mean, we don't even need to talk about governments, but even we can just talk about many big companies.
Yeah.
For example, there are big companies in the US that we can be fairly certain have developed anti-gravity and free energy. Like Lockheed Martin, Northrop, Boeing. A lot of these big companies, probably 100%, they got it. But how about China? Do you think any companies in China would have it?
I don't think China to holding as a company. We have different systems to really take care of or manage the country.
Oh, of course.
Yeah.
Right.
So I still believe there are a lot of different layers of the management, and no matter for the country or for the whole entire world.
Yeah.
So in this part, I believe it's not a company holding it. That's the only thing I can say.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
So.
Enough said.
Yeah.
I think we get it. Yeah. Let me move on to the other one. Let's move on to the other topic. Let's see. So the other. Oh yes, of course. The one that I wanted to talk to you about was off-world colonies. How much do you know, or how much do you kind of think about like off-world colonies? I mean, other bases or maybe cities like on the moon or on the Mars.
Yeah.
How much kind of interaction have you had with this kind of thing?
Oh.
Or have you spoken to other people that have had some sort of inside knowledge?
I think there's not me, but there is quite a lot of people talk about it in this world. I've been able to meet some of them.
Hot topic, yeah?
Yeah, hot topic. And it's also, how say that, and the people who working for the government or maybe working for these levels of the controlling systems, they all know it.
Yeah, right.
But of course, this is not the information can really sharing with the public.
Yeah.
So far.
I mean, we only know so much, right?
Yeah. But we are on the way to know more.
We're on the way, yeah.
Yeah, because there's a lot of great peoples and who is really carry moral and want their people understand more truth of this world and working hard and they sacrifice a lot.
Yes.
And to share those information out to the public.
Yeah.
A lot of people doing that, but of course, and so whatever the things comes out from different way, we all need to, as the normal individuals and or normal people in the society, I think we just need to open up our mind and open up our eyes. No matter what shows out, we always look at it and then to really think, is that possible or not? Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Let's see what else we got in store. So.
Yeah.
Oh yes, one thing that I was wanting to talk to you about. I mean, it's obviously. We can only talk about, stuff that is safe to talk about. But I was wondering if we could try and talk about or identify some of these different layers. When we use this word layers. Actually, first maybe we could kind of explain what it means when you say layer. What is a layer?
Well, maybe I use another word.
Is it like is it a group? Is that what it is?
It's like a system.
A system.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Mm.
It's different running system which is manage the world. They come from different layers of management. Yeah.
Ah, right. So you're saying when we use this word layers,
Yeah.
really we're talking about different systems that exist at the same time.
Yeah.
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 For example, we have a government. This is one system.
Yeah.
We have these other advanced companies.
Yeah.
We have some spiritual leaders.
Yeah.
We have some, I don't know, some ET groups.
Yeah.
We have some healers.
Yeah.
So these are all different systems, different layers.
All different layers and systems. But if you lay them up, actually there are also kind of a line you can see. The all different layers, for me at least, I believe is like a working different dimension.
Of course.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. Management all cause different dimension. It's for example, obvious like fifth dimension can manage any dimension below the fifth dimension.
Yeah.
And the fourth dimension will manage which is all below the fourth dimension. Third dimension can always manage the below the third dimension, but not beyond the third dimension.
Yeah. Right.
Yeah. So we call this is also like layers.
Yeah. Maybe we could talk a little bit about how the different layers interact. What kind of exchanges happen between different layers?
Between different layers, you say the core exchanges is energy. Yeah. And the energy to create a reality. But of course, behind the energy is consciousness. Consciousness create energy. Yeah. So, and we can say in the physical, visible world, you say the layers can be exchanged. For example, what is the really best way to really transforming all different layers? I think you know what is that.
The best way to transform different layers?
No, it's like do exchange.
To exchange between different layers. Honesty?
Honesty?
Yeah.
Okay.
Maybe.
But I talk about the physical way.
Oh, physical way. Okay, physical way. Sharing.
Sharing. You talk about the spiritual. But I talk about is money. Monetary system.
Money. Oh, okay.
And between all different layers, how they link a different layer management, no matter people.
Maybe you can tell me about your T-shirt here.
Oh, my T-shirt. Okay. Actually, this is ACG. The technology is what we've been working on from Juncel.
Yeah.
So this is the first ring with the first ring of the rollers. Will be 12 of it.
Yes.
We have 12, 22, 32. It works and pump out all the free energies out.
Nice.
Yeah.
Wow.
And also here is the platform I've been built it up 3 years ago. We call Light Civilization. That's the local of it.
Yeah. That's the one I saw on your WeChat official account.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. Yeah. So we've been created a new value system based on the people consciousness. Yeah. So forget about the petrol, forget about gold or whatever, we are be able to, I think we are be able to move into the new world, which is all back to the central resource, that's consciousness. So actually it's the consciousness to create all the thinking, feeling, to create all the actions and the behavior, and the language.
Yeah.
So if the people really in the high consciousness, all create beautiful things around. So that's why we try to really build up the new systems and help everyone be able to really understand it.
Like a love economy.
Yeah, like a love economy, we give, we oneness, everyone take care of each other and love each other. We don't have to fighting to get things because the whole entire universe is enough resource to just raise 7 billion people in this planet.
Yeah.
So we don't have to fighting for the resource each other. And the free energy is on the way to shows out. So we really can present that this is true.
The next one is this one here, very, very interesting. So the ETs are walking among us. The people that are in the physical body that are from somewhere else, but that are dressed in normal people's clothes and walking around.
Yes.
Yeah. What are your thoughts?
Of course.
Yeah.
They are.
Yeah.
And actually, I just wondering.
Yeah. I just keep talking. I'm just going to check that this.
I'm just wondering.
Testing 1 2 3. Yeah.
Is that really we have to say that's ET or people from the Earth? Actually, if we go to, for example, we go to Mars, we probably becomes like ET, right? So, basically, it's like Americans immigrate country, and you find people all over the world. But actually, on the Earth, it's also like a bigger vision of United States. So people's travel here, living here from all over entire universe. Yeah, they just use a different way to living here.
I remember when I was looking at that one of those big diagrams, the photo/diagram that you showed me on WeChat, and it had a big kind of picture of our solar system, and then I could see like on the moon there was like this, the dark fleet and the lunar command center, and then different places, but there was also around the Venus or Saturn, I think.
Okay.
There are some civilizations around there, around Saturn or Venus.
Yeah.
Yeah?
Yes.
Like flesh. I mean people. Like
Even
us.
Mars.
Yeah.
Yeah. You find the flesh. It's really find people there. But I think that there is one concept that maybe we need to talk about it, and it's about the different dimension.
Right.
And when the different vibration frequencies and the life will show a little bit different way. You can say we all has the human body, but we carry different light energies inside. When we shift into higher dimension, we'll probably be more bright, but still with this shape. And within 6 dimension, always the physical experience here. And so, as what I know, and on the Venus, that's 5th dimension.
Also, you're saying they are. Do they actually have physical cities there under the ground?
They have, but they may be on the surface just because their vibration frequency is really high. May not we can see with our eye or with our equipment, which is can search in it, because we are only capable to the solar dimensional waves or the area you can search. So that's why sometimes we couldn't see they're existing, but actually they are existing. On the Mars, they have civilization under the ground. That's true. Because the surface, for some reasons, some histories, they've been destroyed. And people only be able to live inside of the Mars.
Those people, I mean, they're in physical 3-dimensional space-time, just like we are here in 3-dimensional space-time. But what about the ones on Venus? Are they physically there in 3D space-time, or they are in a higher dimension?
They are high dimension. They have one city, and this 4th dimension. So, do you remember there's a very famous woman come from Venus called Ominik Onik? Onik.
I heard of a guy that apparently came and was working in the U.S. Pentagon.
Yeah.
That guy, you know that guy?
Oh, no.
I think he went by some Italian-sounding name.
Okay.
And then apparently his IQ was like 500. He could speak like 100. He could speak all of the languages in the whole Earth, and he was really, really smart. And he said, I'm from Venus. I'm here to help the Earth governments kind of work together. Do you know that guy?
Oh, I think is that guy is very blonde hair?
Yes.
Yeah, I think so. And also woman beside her, because he come from last 30s or 40s, something like that. Yeah.
So anyway, the girl that you mentioned.
Yeah, and she's also came from Venus, and we need to help Earth. But her age in Venus is 160 years old.
160.
Yeah, 160. But on Earth, just like 6 years old child. Yeah, because on the Venus you can live a long life.
Yeah.
Maybe like 8,000 years or
Right.
maybe even over 10,000 years to
Uh-huh.
live. So 160 years according on the Earth is just like 6 years old child.
Right.
So when she chose to come to Earth because she has some kind of before life really karma link with Earth people, she wants to come back to help people. But sorry, but then because in Venus is a 5th dimension, and our Earth is 3rd dimension. If she really be able to show out there and have experience here, she had to load frequencies. So she went to that city of Venus, which is lowest dimension, 4th dimension, to that herself spend a couple of 10 years to really suitable with that frequencies. And then she came to the Earth. The first landing is Himalaya, because that's the highest dimension on Earth at least.
Yeah.
So she being able to live in there as the 6 years older forming body, and there is some masters and lama to take over her. For quite a long time until she really, really can suitable with the frequencies on the Earth. Then she started coming down from the Himalaya and walking into the world and be more able to sharing a lot of things, teaching a lot of things with this human shape.
I hear that the Himalaya at the moment is because the Earth is also kind of like the body, right? Like we have our chakras. The Earth
Yes.
also. So is like the Himalayas is like the crown chakra. Of
Yeah,
Earth,
crown
chakra
like here.
Yeah?
Yes.
So that's why the Himalaya is kind of considered like the spiritual center of the whole Earth at the moment.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. At least holding is holding over 6,000 years, or maybe even longer than that, because after Atlantis, we've been holding civilization extinct, and
the Himalayas was it?
Himalaya becomes above the water and right behind. And also, and those masters, you can say shifting masters, and to really be able to help Mother Earth is like the fire, or you can say like spirituals under the Himalaya. So that's why all the religion after thousands of years to shows out is all around the Himalaya area.
Right.
But since last 1949, this energy start to moving. And because when Earth was shifting to another center.
Is this to do with the magnetic field shifting?
Yeah, the whole Earth was shifting, right? Whole Earth is shifting. So Mother Earth were choice to leave from Himalaya, and were moving to the Andes Mountain. So because the Andes Mountain and the energies is very high.
Andes Mountain, is that the one in Europe and Italy somewhere?
No, and that's our piece. I talk about Andes Mountain is central or south of America. It's across the Peru, Chile, Bolivia, and part. It's that area. It's like Machu Picchu there as well.
Right.
So that mountain really, really high, but it's more female energy. Himalaya is more male energy. So, and when we start a new civilization of human beings, and so we need the male energies to carry it in that time. But now, when we're shifting even higher, we're on the way. We need to activate the whole female energies. So that's why Mother Earth chose to leave from Himalaya and cross the half of the global and landed on the Andes Mountain. So there's a lot of spiritual masters or shifting masters to really, really help working on this really hard. Yeah.
And I guess the other one I want to talk about, like we were talking about this on WeChat. Like we were talking about how there are some magicians that are performing some magic tricks that seems almost beyond what you could do with just very well fast trained hands, or almost impossible. Like it must be some kind of, they must be using some kind of extra dimensional or some sort of mystical ability even. So how about this? You mentioned, I think we were talking about that there were some groups in, was it like Malaysia or some area there where they're training up some people to become masters to do this kind of thing?
Oh, there's a lot of places to train people.
To train.
Even as what we know, CIA do the same things.
Sorry?
Yeah. CIA do the same things.
Oh, they're training people.
Yeah, they're training people. But of course with their own agenda.
Ability.
Yeah, with their own agenda.
Oh.
Sometimes they need people be able to do certain things to help them to catch the information.
Oh.
Yeah, but anyway, this is true. You can say, and there's more and more, even young children to carry very special abilities. Yeah, maybe I'm one of it when I was young. Yeah. So yeah, that's true. I think how say that, and there's many thoughts resource try to work on to our planet
Many.
and try to open up people's eyesight.
You said resources?
A lot of resources of ET.
Oh,
yeah.
Okay. So many different groups of ETs.
Yeah.
They want to try and open us up a little bit.
Exactly. But of course with the good reason, a good purpose
Right.
behind. But also be careful, and there is also, whatever we say, the bad ETs also use the same ways and to make everyone's believe some kind of phenomena. It's like black magical.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I guess when we think of the bad ETs, I mean, they're probably the reason we might consider them bad is because they may be exploiting us to achieve something that they need to achieve, right?
Mm-hmm.
They may not necessarily mean us any harm. They may just be maybe using us in some way to achieve something that they want to achieve, yeah?
Mm-hmm.
How about, I guess one of the very controversial groups of ETs that people often associate with negative energy, but that others often say that there are also good groups would be like the reptilians.
Mm-hmm.
So how much, what would you have to say about the reptilians?
Oh, reptilians. I think if the people really know this area, will hate the reptilians. They think they controlling the world, and they do really bad stuff, stop the human to get their more evolutions and shiftings. And I say, as what I just started this interview, I say actually when you stand in really oneness, and there's nothing good, nothing bad.
Yeah.
Yeah, everything's actually being created by this whole resource of universe. We cannot just say, oh, light is they created, but dark they don't create it.
Yeah.
They create everything. But I think for this dimensional experience, when we are on the way to developing, there's some resource don't like to we developing so much out of their control. I think for certain reason. And the reptilian is really one of those groups to controlling the world very well and to really follow their own plan. Yeah. So, but still you can say in the beginning they have good reasons. Yeah. To cooperate with the light groups and to really create this Earth as the experiment, like a laboratory.
Right.
For this human DNA. Right. But when we are on the way to developing, and those reptilian, you can say in the beginning they know what they're doing, but later they forgot. They're so enjoying to controlling everything, They forgot their purpose in the beginning. They want to continue this role. Even they finish their mission, they should let it go, but they don't. They don't want it. So that's why, and they stop the humans to get more developing as their time is we need.
Yeah.
So they becomes like a negative part, and no one like them. And they do a lot of bad stuff, you can say, and really dark.
Well, I suppose there's the reptilians, right? And then there's another one that's kind of considered much more darker than that, called the
Dracos.
Yeah.
I think
the
there are
reptilians. Like reptilians are
lizard reptilians.
The lizard reptilians are not necessarily bad, right? I mean, apparently they are living on Mars, yeah?
Oh, they are in this planet.
As well.
A lot of them.
So like under the ground or disguised as humans?
All these guys is you can say sometimes look at them like a human.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, and they carry a lot of reptilian DNA.
So they
are
can
half human, half reptilian.
So they can shapeshift, yeah.
Yeah, they can. And more is this lizard group really controlling the surface right now. The jackals, or you can say more deeper Dragon Group, they're also reptilian. They have different agenda.
Yeah.
Yeah, has different agenda with the lizard group right now.
Do you think are these, reptilians, are they involved in any of this human sacrifice?
Yes.
They are?
Yeah.
Oh, damn, I thought they were good. So they're not necessarily all good. Some of
them good, some of them bad.
Oh, okay.
And we never say whole reptilian is bad. It's like, some people say some in the Second World War, because Japan doing some things to China, you can say, Japan is bad. No, you cannot say that.
Oh, okay.
Some peoples in that country is bad, but the almost the peoples really good peoples.
Yeah.
So that's why, and people don't like to really think because they're lazy.
Of course.
This is bad, this is good, it's easier. Because when you really analyze them into a more complicated way, it's just so tired, I don't want to do that.
Yeah.
But it's better to see, this is good, this is bad.
Right.
Yeah, but we have to really developing our brain to really be able to see more objectively choose.
Right.
Yeah. So this is also the way to help people move out from duality. Yeah.
Right. Yeah. I guess I always thought about I thought a lot about reptilians. I mean, have you heard of Randy Kramer?
Randy Kramer.
Yeah, he's the guy that claims to be a U.S. Marine.
Mm-hmm.
There are some U.S. Marines, that have spent time on Mars, doing some military training there, and then have come back.
Yeah.
So Randy Kramer is one of them.
Okay.
That claims to have been there. He's saying that there has been many little wars on Mars between human groups and reptilian groups.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There's a fighting never stop everywhere.
Yeah.
It seems like that's a tradition of reptilians.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay. We're going.
Thank you. So what we should do about this information combines together, there's one important point. How to make all those information to expanding out by decentralized.
Yes.
That's a decentralized system. That's very important because no matter what we deliver right now, still more advantage, not advantage that got an improvement as a long time ago. But we cannot stop. We need to continue improvement. So we need to be able to deliver out this decentralized system that more people be more freely can share. Like can share their information without people watch how you stop you talking, stop you to listening, And when people get more information, there will be more abilities to be created, like how to take care of the information. If you don't get the information, you basically only listen, like kids listen your parents are telling you, you will block yourself. You're not going to grow up. Yeah. Yeah? Can I? Yeah, I say it's okay? Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
So we need to be more decentralized, and we need a decentralized system that does not have some kind of oversight.
Yeah, exactly.
Controlling oversight,
Yeah. I mean, I don't say controlling is bad. When you are a baby, your parents have to control you a little bit to teach you this or that.
Yeah.
But when you're already teenagers, already grows as the young man, your parents still will child you like a baby, how you feel about it. Right?
Yeah.
So that's not a suitable way to educate the kids anymore. So I say, no matter whatever people talk about the cabal, reptilians, or who try to, government try to control. And thank you very much because your control to help us grow in and into the healthily. But now is the time to that is the goal. Let us grow in ourselves. We need to be able to be more freedom to think, to talk, to listening. Yeah. So in the future, of course, we need to do more these communications. We're sharing as the whatever social media, but also we are on the way to build up this decentralized system. So, and we can move all these things into this decentralized system that people be more able to.
We talked about the mystical abilities by magicians in this. Oh, a very important one here that I wanted to talk to you about was diet. Yeah?
Oh, okay.
And a lot of people watching this because they're getting into more spiritual things
Yes.
and this free energy and the new world and how to transition. So they're going to be wondering, what should I be eating? Yeah.
Yeah.
And especially myself, like when I was quite young, I was like, oh, I just started feeling bad about animals, and especially because I was raised on a farm, so I saw them get killed.
Oh.
And later slowly I started to become vegetarian, and then I tried to be like full vegan for some time, but eventually now, at the moment I'm probably like mostly vegetarian, but then now and then I go back to maybe a little bit of fish or something like that. I don't feel too good about it. I wish I can be fully vegetarian, but anyway, what's your opinion on a good diet, I suppose, for people that are getting into this kind of stuff?
The first, myself is a vegetarian for, I think, is for 13 years. 13 years, yeah. And so far, I'm really healthy and full of energy.
Yeah.
And doesn't like anything is what the people think. Without meat, you're gonna like this or like that. Actually, it's not.
Yeah.
But I want to say, and our body is actually everything created by energy.
Yeah.
Yeah. So even looks so real, so solid.
Yeah.
But when you put our body under the like telescope, no, like the
Microscope.
microscope. So it's still the energy, still adult, every adult. So, and air has the energy, sunshine has the energy. We basically can get energies from everywhere. But because of our belief system to block us to really believe we can run in this way, we have to eat certain things. So that's why the people create a habit to create this tradition or behavior. But now the earth is shifting, and the older frequencies and start to becomes higher and higher. And so, and even people keep it all the way to be on diet, but where I feel more and more difficult and more problems. And a lot of people around me, and they said, oh, we don't try to become like a vegetarian. But you see, that's the things. Recently, when I eat the meat, I start to get the diarrhea. And when I back to eat the vegetables, I'm okay. Eat the meat again, diarrhea again. So what does that mean? When our body is shifting, and then we'll be more sensitive to analyze the energy of the food.
Yes.
So I don't say people shouldn't go to eat the meat or whatever with so many different reasons. But anyway, the nature will design. And when the food frequencies is not going to suitable for our body transforming, we will start to feel uncomfortable with certain food. So we naturally will start to choose more and more vegetarian. So, of course, there's a lot of science also to show a lot of reason why vegetarian food is more suitable for human beings and for future, for our developing. We can find a lot of information on internet right now. But the point is, my suggestion is you understand this is the way to go, but don't push yourself. That your body, your nature design. But sometimes you still can mention yourself a little bit. Maybe that one is more healthy than this one. And also, we create less negative energies because when the animal die to serve our lives, they're not be really nicely to treat as humanities. And they also, and they also has their feelings, they have their emotionals, they have consciousness. And when the way we treat them and kill them is not so kind, they carry a lot of negative energies. And when we eat the food, they will transform into our body directly. Of course, we'll make ourselves, whatever health or consciousness, not so health. So we just need to understand them more and more, but don't push ourselves. Follow the nature. And be trust.
Oh, sorry, maybe just move this way a little bit. Just get in front of there. Oh, yeah, no, that's okay.
Yeah.
So what I was going to say, oh yeah, do you think different life forms carry different levels of consciousness? Yeah. So
Yes.
perhaps like a fish doesn't carry as much consciousness as say like a dog.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's true. And bigger animals, they
Yeah.
carry more consciousness.
Yeah.
Of course, I cannot say is the animal's size equal consciousness, but that's in the reality, right? And and that's what happening.
Yeah.
So about the small shrimps or fish, you can say they probably need a big quantity to carry one whole consciousness. But therefore, bigger animals like a cow or like a pig or like a dog, they be able to carry more complete one consciousness into their body.
Yeah.
You see the way they communicate with the people, they are intelligent.
Yeah.
Yeah, they can responding back to your treatment. So that means that they have fully consciousness, they have emotionals, they know what is the fear, and they have a memories. So that's why, and when they have a more fully consciousness, we are really they will be more react back.
Yeah.
For the small fish or small animals, even like flies,
Yeah.
is a like those kind of or whatever butterflies or just flies, you know, you need a bigger quantity to carry one consciousness. That's true. So if people still think, oh, you know, I think it's good to be a vegetarian, but I still need to give myself a little bit more time to really understanding it, to really be able to create a new habit of the diet. So maybe go to eat some fish or some shrimps and keep your opinion, keep your nutrition as what you believe.
Yeah.
And then slowly you can move to another state. Yeah.
Right.
But to eat beef or maybe pork, or maybe or lamb, or maybe some countries, even part of China, still eat the dog. So that's personally, I don't think that's a really good thing to do.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
Of course. Oh yeah. What do you think about the idea that there could be like living flesh and blood immortals? I mean, people that look like you and I, but that are a lot older, maybe like a few hundred years, maybe like 1,000 years old, living in the mountains somewhere.
Yeah,
Yeah?
they are.
Yeah?
That's what I want to say earlier. We mentioned one word.
Yeah.
Layer.
A layer.
Yeah. They live in another layer. They're living another life system. No matter their DNA and their special practicing, like from Tibet Buddhism or maybe from Taoism, or maybe they have special technology.
Yeah.
And to keep their really long life with this body.
Do you think some of the technology that they could be using could be some Chinese herbal medicine, some very special herbs?
I think it's a more advantage than that.
Really?
Yes.
So, but, I mean, we've heard, like, as I studied 2.5 years Chinese medicine in New Zealand, and I remember when I was reading some of these Chinese medicine books, there were stories about, like this herb could do this herb could do that. It's, lingzhi.
Yeah.
Lingzhi.
Yeah.
It's a mushroom that grows, a very hard mushroom that grows on a tree.
Yeah.
And there is some old recipes that say, you mix this with that and that with this, and you can even use it to regrow some organ or something like that.
I mean, in the physical way, you can say there are some herbs that really carry good energies.
Yeah.
But you see, as what we say, the whole life is a whole entire ecosystem. We cannot say only eating something to give you that kind of energy, but your consciousness still pay attention to third dimensional. You got a lot of difficulties in the third dimensional. That's not even match. So people who live in mountain, they have totally different belief system. Their consciousness, the things they pay attention is not the same as the people who live in the city.
Yeah, of course.
So that's why, and maybe those herbs is working for them very well.
Oh yeah.
They have a very low greedy, you can say. Sorry, I used that word. Yeah. They are not so much desire. They keep themselves living really in nature. They merge their life with the nature, with the universe.
Yeah.
They can transform in their energies. They can do exchange in their energies with a tree, with a mountain, with a lake. So, but we doing the exchange to the pollution. Of course, that's different things. So, herbs is good stuff. But it's not only herbs can make that happen.
Yeah.
You need the whole system working together.
Yeah, yeah.
As that.
Do you think these, I mean, so we're talking about these immortals, yeah, that are maybe 500, maybe 1,000 years old, living in China in the mountains somewhere. I mean, as you understand, what kind of numbers are they living in? What kind of number? Are they living like 500 of them together, 10 of them together, 20 of them together? What do you think?
And actually, they, as what I know,
Yeah.
they don't live as the group.
So they live maybe
individually.
So you're saying like one guy in a cave here and then one guy in a cave there?
Yeah, but they communicate.
Oh yeah.
They don't use this to communicate. They don't need it. This is for third dimensional people.
Yeah, yeah.
But they communicate with their high consciousness.
Oh.
Yeah.
So you're saying they don't have, then in that case they do not have sort of little agricultural villages, no?
No. They are very hidden themselves. It's not like villages that everyone can go to visit it.
Yeah.
No.
Okay, so but they're actually physical flesh and blood, physical people walking around, but just sitting there in a mountain.
Yeah, and some of them also able to live in the society, just you don't know them.
Okay.
Their world looks really normal. Like aliens also looks like Earth people, you know.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah. They maybe it's even the beggar on the street. You never know.
Yeah.
Yeah. They're really good to cover themselves, you know, with different roles. Yeah.
I guess on that note, having said this, I mean, and then we mentioned little agricultural villages.
Yeah.
I guess, as you know, what are the most long-lived villages that we know of in China? Do you know of any villages that are very, very long-lived?
Yeah, it's a little bit area like Guizhou or Yunnan.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, because there's one place called Bama. The older nature there, you can say, is energies or the plants or those natures existing around 200 and 300 million years.
Like Yunnan. Yeah, I heard Yunnan has the most diverse plant life and animal life.
Yeah.
The most different kind of animals and plants in Yunnan.
Yes. So, of course, there are some nature, some villages, you can say small towns, and the people living there, and the old people get a very long life, it's over 100 years old, it's very normal for them.
But we're not talking about 500,000 years old.
No, that's not the villages. That's what I told you, they live individual.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. And also I tell you, and even about those controlling systems, there are some very ancient families. They have the people also living quite long time.
So you're talking about like maybe some reptilians or some Illuminati or someone like that?
Yeah.
Yeah?
Yes.
Oh yeah, I guess on that note, how about maybe we can just very quickly talk about some of the, I guess, for lack of a better way to describe it, like the secret societies in China, and one group that you mentioned. Is that something, is it safe to talk about?
I just only can say, if anything is happening in the Western society, it's also going to be the same in the Eastern society.
Right. So they already knew about it here.
Yes.
If something happened in the West, we can be sure that the societies here
and
know
also,
about it.
Yeah. And also I want to mention one concept. This world holds the duality and all the contradiction, not between the people to people. Not between the country to country, not between the nations to nations. It's between the people who control the world and the people who being controlled by them.
By them,
Yeah.
I guess the thing that, very quickly, I mean, well, let me start off with when I was in New Zealand and first starting to learn about this disclosure movement, and I started attending these CE5 events, and I saw the craft from very far away, and wow, there's ETs. Oh my God! And I always thought that this whole phenomenon must be something that we only know about in the West, but probably maybe people in China, they don't know about this, but it seems like these societies in China, secret societies maybe, they have known about this for a very long time already. Yeah? And it seems like it's not so much that the West needs to disclose this to China, but there's a lot in China that needs to be disclosed to the West.
Yeah. I mean, internet is really suitable for all the people get information. And so even we've been able to move a lot of information from Western country into China.
Right.
And there are more and more Chinese people understand what's going on about Western countries, about all even their ETs.
Yeah.
But there's no really ones can really get very close to understand what's going on
this
from
side.
eastern side.
Yeah. So what would you say are some of the most important things, maybe like the most important thing that people in the West need to start understanding as we're moving into this new world, moving into the new world? What is the most important thing that we need to know about what's happening here?
Yeah, we need to understand about the whole this global game. And we need to be able to understand holographically and the puzzles.
What, sorry?
Like
the
puzzles. Yeah, puzzles.
Yes.
If we missing the puzzles from this size, people never be able to understand the 100% the truth.
Yeah.
And not only about the Western information, also Eastern information, and not only about the information, even about our inner energy.
Yeah.
So we have so many different channels we need to working together to really bring this fully, completely choose to the whole people, to the public, and also to not only bring this completely information, also bring this oneness feelings and like a unit consciousness to the people. Without this part, only information still will divide the people into different parts.
Right.
Will argue each other. So that's what we've been going for. You know, right now is a big war of the consciousness in this world.
Yeah.
And as the Eastern countries, we also carry a lot of consciousness war here as well. So, and because when the people, no matter light side or dark side, they all understand the one thing. When they are up to that their understanding, who get the consciousness, who win the game. So you see, this is why, and everyone try to use their channel and to mess up those information. If we don't go back to our own soul, connect with our universe consciousness, we've been missing ourselves into those information like ocean size, ocean quantity, ocean data. We will not be able to really pick the right things for our whole human being.
Right.
So this is why I said the first information we need to merge together from Western and Eastern. And the second, not only information. It's like you'll be able to break down the old system, you also need to be able to build up a new system. Yeah, you need to convince everything together.
What do you think is the most important sort of channel or way to merge? I mean, especially the language, because there is a language barrier, right? Right now, I guess a few more people in the West can speak Chinese and a few more people in China can speak English, but still there is a big language barrier, right? So I think, is this one of the most important things, that we need to start learning each other's language?
I think the AI already can do that.
The AI?
Yeah, AI already can do, you know, like a translator, you say the Chinese and then another side listen to English, you know. This is not the issue.
Right.
The issue is it's not the language. Language is just a tool.
Right.
Issue is when everyone's really living these beautiful love energies and oneness.
Of course.
They will get the information from another side immediately. You know, love is a course or beyond the language. So that's why I say, and if no matter Western people or Eastern people, when they're developing with their channel, then to the point, that point actually can bring everyone together. So like no matter you're Christians, you're Buddhist, or you're Taoists, and if everyone's really goes up into the level or layer, you will be able to understand, and everyone's freely to exchange information each other. Yeah.
So you think are we ready for this decentralized system now?
Oh yeah, definitely it's the right timing.
Yeah.
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 So and it's like a technology revolution starting already.
Yeah.
Even the older parents are still a little bit concerned about, couldn't that you're running too fast, I don't want you to get anything wrong. Yeah, but sorry, but the kids are gonna grow in anyway. This is nature. So, and now the whole human beings, or you can say group consciousness, and developing those things manifest out because we are our needs of the evolution. Yeah.
Yeah. So I guess the thing that I was wanting to talk about now is so there is obviously some government oversight in China. They are some parts worried about certain groups, right? So I was wondering, how can we at this time how can we be active in the Chinese UFO community with following the Chinese law?
Yeah. And the first, and I want to say, if everyone live in their heart, no matter what they're gonna do, we're not gonna create any contradiction to the society. So, and we need that people to explore more about their space, right? But we also want the people to go back inner, to developing their inner system, to understand unity, oneness, and love. So when the people really in this state, there's no contradiction were created. The government doesn't need to worry about anything of that. We keep more harmonies, and there will be more healthy way to explore the universe. We are cooperate as the human beings. We don't take a competition. And if so far our humanity developing this level, I think all the governments will be really happy to look at that. So that means we need to keep curious and to exchange the information. We also need to sometimes go back to see, to really aware ourselves. Do we share this information, or do we do this exchange of information is for what? It's for bringing all the human beings still back to their central frequencies, not because to create people crazy. So, and I think if we take this as the principles, there's nothing wrong with it.
One of the other things I was thinking of talking about, because as I mentioned, I worked in a casino in Auckland, in New Zealand. I was working in a casino, and I was around, a lot of very, very, very rich people, very, very, very rich. And I guess I always wondered, because in this casino environment, there is just like so much money and power like flowing through here. I'm just wondering, like, there must be something going on, and I was wondering what do you think, or would you have anything to say about I don't know, some like behind the scenes stuff that might go on in like casinos?
Oh, about the casinos, I don't have so much information about that. I don't have so much information about that, but I know their money is like energies. Some people holding it for a long time. Eventually, they will pay back to their holder system and reorganize again. So there's a lot of interesting things happening right now, and even as what we know is like a dragon group, for example, they're holding wormholes of wealth. They are watch out the wealth for this planet as their guardians. But since the reptilian, I talk about the lizard reptilian start to take over to manage this world as cabal, and for the whole dragon group lost this whatever power to control the system. But the problem is they still the origin management of those wealth. So on the legal way, the money still belongs to them on the legal. I say on the legal. So right now they start to try to move those bigger capitals into the surface and to promote the new systems build it up. And is try to replace the old system, which is you manage the planet.
So do you think a lot of these reptilians, are they for the Bitcoin and the decentralized system?
Oh,
Are they for it or are they against
no,
it?
no. They are not like they're for or they're
Against.
against. They probably not even figure out what's going on here.
They haven't figured out what's
They
going on.
haven't figured out yet. I've been able to talk to some core of these dragon groups, peoples, elders, and maybe not directly, but besidely. And because I talked to the friends who was working for them.
Yeah.
Yeah. They don't figure out yet, but as the purpose, they want to do something good for this planet.
Yeah.
They want the people more developing. So, but they just don't figure out what is the best way to do it. Maybe they're still very traditional way to think about do the business but then and now we start to build it up the new system to show them, hey, if you really want to help this world to transform it and change into good and or more sustainability, and then they use this new way. The older ways doesn't suitable for the human developing animal.
Of course.
Yeah. But at least I know the energies they try to deal is change in this world. Yeah.
Of course. I guess move on to the other one. I was thinking of talking about, I mean, we already talked about this a little bit, but maybe we could go into a little bit more detail in the kinds of exchanges and kind of interactions which commonly occur between ET. I mean, people coming from other planets and that occur between us. What kind of exchanges usually occur as you know?
Encourage me?
What kind of say like interactions? Well, like when I was in New Zealand, you know, we would go out and do these CE5s, and you know, we would see the extraterrestrial spacecraft from very far away, and but there was not very much. The only interaction we had with these craft is that we could see them and they could see us.
Yes.
Yeah? And it's just like, hello.
Yes.
You know, and that was it. That was the only exchange.
Yes.
So I'm thinking, you know, as you know, or as you can think about, what kind of other interactions usually occur?
Oh, you mean like a contact?
Yeah.
What is the other way they contact us?
Yeah, what is some of the ways of contact? Yeah.
Okay, there's many different ways. The one is they shows out to you, and they're like you see them, they see you, and but some ways is like people abducted you.
Abducted.
Yeah, abducted, and they do a lot of experiments, and of course this is a lot of story behind. I probably can talk about it 3 days, but maybe not today. Maybe later episodes. So, yeah. But also some of them use like a channeling.
Channeling, yeah.
Yeah, they deliver their idea, information to you, and when you are asleep in the dreams, or maybe just when you do the meditation, yeah, and when you turn yourself into the frequencies which is can relate with them, they will immediately information into your mind. Yeah, it's like that mind connections. Yeah. And some of them maybe just shows out. It's normal human deal with talk to you. Yeah, and I've been able to see a couple of this type of whatever you call alien. They're not Earth people, but they looks like Earth people.
Oh, you mean you physically met them?
Physically meet. That's also. Yeah.
And would you like to tell us about the situation that occurred?
Yeah, but they just looks like normal, and they just tell you when they first landed to this planet, it's also Himalaya, and they were younger, and they are not living the same timeline. But when they're more suitable to the Earth timeline, they also were a little bit more like us to get a little bit older, you know, and the biology systems change a little bit, but they still be able to connect with their resorts or their planets.
So were they born on Earth, or they were?
No,
born,
they don't.
They were born from somewhere else, and then they came here.
Exactly. Exactly. But of course, when they're born, that's also one way because they have to come here recognition and back into the human shape. So it's like if we really want to help the human being, the first we have to become like one of it.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But this is almost astronaut ET, you can say star seeds.
Yeah.
The way they chose to come to this planet.
Mm-hmm.
Probably you are one of it. I believe I'm one of it, you know.
Yeah.
Yeah. So it's just turn to this human body
Wow.
and come here and becomes like humans, understand them, to find a way what they can accept it, to helping them. Yeah.
So would you like to tell us, like, how many times did you meet one, and how did you meet?
1, 2. The physical way I meet 2. One from inside of Earth. Yeah. And one woman come from Norway. Yeah. And they live in high mountain. And we has a conference. I joined one conference called Cosmic Wisdom.
Cosmic Wisdom.
Yeah, conference in Seattle. That's 2017. Yeah. And they're in that group, and I was one of my master or teacher, and to be there, and also group from Dr. Emoto, Masun, you know the Emoto? Emoto, Dr. Emoto is from Japan, and to really doing the examine of the crystals of the water.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I don't know exactly, but yeah, I know there is a scientist in Japan who studies water crystals.
Yeah, that's
how
him.
It relates with consciousness.
Yeah, exactly. That's him, and his team's there, and also be able to meet others. And one of this speaker is from Norway. She says she's aliens. She's not Earth people, and she came to this world and forming bodies like a child as well. Maybe because in their planet they can be lonely for soul. That's her, and one also from that conference is inside of Earth. That person is a man, woman, male, females that live in the same body.
Wow.
Yeah, his body is a little bit tall, a little bit chubby, I say big, you can say. But the face doesn't look very, very much like normal people. Still, Earth people, right? But just when you look at the face, it's like weird, you know. Somewhere it's not so. You know, I know they have a black, white, or yellow, brown in this, but that face doesn't look like any one of it.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow.
So
if it looked like anyone, would it look more closely to which one? Closer to Scandinavian or?
Mixed. You can say the Indians or Eskimo or maybe some brownish people. It's just like a mix. It's like a Mayans or maybe I don't know.
Wow.
Yeah, but with very pointed nose.
Pointy
like
nose, quite tall.
Quite tall and darker skin, but he been delivered to the surface from inside of the Earth civilizations when he was 6 years old. But now he still need to go back once or twice per every 2 years to meet his parents.
In the inner
inside
Earth.
Inner Earth.
And how about the inner Earth? I mean, I've heard many different, how can I say, physics, different physics of it. For example, some say that the Earth is actually hollow, has one center, and then another one says, no, the Earth is solid, but it has several very big open spaces in it. So in your understanding, is it the Earth actually has one hollow center, or it's solid, but it has several big cabins?
I think this different opinion, you should mix them as a one, because they describe a different dimension. Yeah. So in the third dimension, maybe you go inside of the Earth, exactly like what you just mentioned. Oh, it's just a sudden open area, like cities. They have an empty space. You can build it up. There's civilization there. But there's also others who get involved inside of the Earth. They also describe that's different dimension. It's a whole entire new world, entire world, which is totally different as a surface of the Earth. So I say, and even I have been here about inside of the Earth, you find somewhere is a fourth dimension, somewhere even fifth dimension. So I have spiritual experience and be able to really get inside of the Earth to meet those creatures there, and they're plasma beings, and they also has different groups, beings, and some of them is human shapes, but they carry totally different frequencies, and they can form themselves in different. They can fly, float up, Yeah, but when I had that kind of those experience, it's before those information shows out. So actually, when the information shows out, no matter from Corey Good, who's get inside of the Earth a couple of times, or from others, they all to prove what we've been experienced before. So I believe there's just a certain different dimensionally there, different civilizations there, and the different groups there as well.
Sorry to cut you off there. We just got 1 minute 20 left.
Yeah.
So I'd just like to say to the audience that a lot of what we discussed today is very just the surface level, and later we would like to make separate interviews to go more deep into each area. And thank you very much today, Carla.
Thank you
for your interview. It's been a very wonderful time having you, and I've enjoyed every moment of this interview. And I'm going to watch it, and hopefully we're going to make something really interesting in the future.
Yeah.
And we can.
I think we can. Yeah. Boom. Also, thanks to all the audience. And if there's more information you want to understand, so please. And to be followers of 内家小虎.
是内家小虎.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay. Thank you.
Thanks,
Bye.
guys. So hopefully this is recording. Yes.
We make it right.
Yeah.
It's not a